Hello everyone, welcome to the 5th episode of The Knowledge Nest. It is February 27th. Hi, I have a guest, Allison Beard. She is the Library Public Services Manager, so I'm going to talk with her about kind of what she does and how she can help anybody who comes in. Once again, we had our book club last week. It was a very big hit. Allison is actually the person who was in charge of that, so it was really well attended. You said 8 people came?
Yeah, it was a nice group.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to the next book club book. Do you have any ideas about that book? Or
Not yet. It won't be announced yet. Maybe in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Middle of next month.
Okay, awesome. Yes, so keep your eyes peeled, not your ears. Can't peel your ears, but keep your eyes peeled on the next book we're going to have for our book club. So, Allison, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, yeah, my name's Allison, or you can call me Allie, either one. I've worked here at CSI for 2 years. Moved here 2 years ago from Southern California, and really am enjoying my time here. I have a bachelor's in sociology and a master's in psychology, but this is my first time working in a library.
Oh, awesome. Nice. What attracted you to work in a library initially?
You know, I've actually always loved libraries and volunteering. I volunteered in a library throughout high school and actually throughout college too, working with teaching people English, reading and writing, and then helping people get citizenship. So I've always loved reading, being surrounded by books. And I'm a very organized person too, and I feel like libraries really are all about being organized.
Yes.
So I think just all of those things. I think my best memories growing up were at the library too. So
Nice.
it just represents a really great place to be in my mind.
Yeah, and that's the main goal. That's one of the library code of ethics is it's supposed to be welcoming for everyone and kind of a safe space for all different types of people at the same time, which we kind of talked with Ross about a little bit last time too, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So what is your main kind of, or do you have like a broader goal when it comes to working in a library or anything like that?
You know, I really enjoy what I'm doing right now. I like being out with the patrons, so I enjoy working with people that come into the library, just walk in and need help with something. So for right now, I really enjoy that aspect of what I'm doing, and I like being the public services manager here.
Yeah. It was always the public-facing people when I was to the library as a kid, were like the people I went to, because they're the people you see first, and so the people you go to first, and so it was really nice. Some of them were really mean. You were not mean, but there was one lady who was like, you're like a day late, and I hope you learned this lesson. It was really rude. I'm like, well, I'm not going to go back. So I went, like, I asked my mom to drive us 10 minutes away to another whole other branch, and then she quit, and then I went back to that branch. So, but
that's terrible. I promise I'm not mean.
No, she's very nice. Advocates for the patrons a lot. When did you know that you wanted to kind of choose your career path, work in the library and stuff?
So, like I mentioned with my education history, more in mental health psychology. So when I was in California, I worked in the mental health field for about 8 years, and it was very rewarding but very challenging at the same time, as I'm sure you can imagine. So when I moved states, I was like, well, maybe it's also time to try a different career. And so got my foot in the door here at CSI with the Job Corps program. There was an opening in the library. I applied just because it's always been something that I've been interested in and thought would be a great place to work, but wasn't as exposed to career opportunities with library science in the past. Like, I feel like it's not as well known as an option as it could be. So when this opportunity opened up, I was like, this is great, you know, kind of felt serendipitous.
So you've always, with the Job Corps, you've always been kind of a public person.
Yeah, and really just enjoy helping people. And so now I feel like I get to help people just in a different way.
Yes.
You know, more like connecting people to resources and things like that. Really practical help, which is always something I've enjoyed.
Yes, that's one of the things we're trying to talk about at the library now is like, if not just books, there's all these different types of information resources and services
Right.
that we have
Mm-hmm.
that can help you. That's really cool. So what are your typical like daily responsibilities or daily tasks that you do?
Yeah, I feel like every day I just kind of come in and see what's happening. Anything that's going on out in the front, I feel like I'm, I don't know, in charge of or responsible for, right? So just meeting people's needs, whatever happens out in the front part of the library. You know, circulation, reserves, those kinds of things. Some reference questions, you know, if people come in and need help finding resources, we're there. I also manage the work study students. So we have some great work study students that work up front. So if you come into the library and they're working up front, they're awesome.
Yes, both you and Ross have independently talked about the work study students. Come see the students. They're awesome.
They're great. They really are great. So kind of overseeing them. Trying to think what else. It's a lot of my job I feel like is day-to-day stuff. But then also doing statistics each month, which is super exciting and fun, right? And all of those kinds of things. So
I'm glad that you do statistics, because a lot of like the metrics, I was like, I hope somebody like analyzes it, but you do. So that's good that you kind of, because I've been in places where they've taken data and it's like, what happens with this? And it just stays there. We don't do anything with it. Like, why are you collecting if you don't do it? So statistics is important. Take your math classes. How has work in if there was another policy or department of the library, what would you like it to be? This is kind of a weirdly theoretical. I don't even know why I came up with this question, but it is a question nonetheless.
I'm trying to think if I put anything down for this. Another policy, or like just another kind of
like another
job opportunity, another thing we do. I don't know. I feel like I really enjoy in the past when we've done like community involvement stuff here. I like working the orientations that CSI has, so like being at the booths for prospective students and educating them on the library. So if there are more opportunities for that, I think that's great.
Kind of like an outreach type.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. How has work in the library proved to be unique, and how is it similar to other jobs?
I think one thing, and this is going to sound kind of like cliche, but it is quiet in the library, right? Although we don't shush here, right? We're not a shushing library. We're not going to get mad at you if you like talk. But it is a very peaceful environment to work in.
Yes.
I've never worked somewhere that was so like kind of had a sense of tranquility to it, just because of the expectation that you're in a library and it's going to be quiet. So it is kind of nice to not have that excessive, kind of stimuli all the time, right? To have it be a little bit peaceful. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that is very unique about being in a library.
Yes, no, it is interesting. Our offices, I think that Miranda and Ross also listen to music, but our offices are louder than the actual library is. And people, when I've had people come in, like IT or, was it Todd? Somebody else came in, and I had music on, and they were like, this is wrong. Like, what's happening? It's a library. But it is very serene, If we did meditation in the library, which I think, that would be a good thing to do. I do it in my office. It'd be just so peaceful.
We did have that last summer, too. We did a meditation in the library, so maybe we'll have to do that again.
Kind of like a guided meditation type thing?
Yeah, it was very cool.
That'd be really cool. And with the outreach thing, along with the other programs, how did you come up with the book club idea? You're in charge of the book club.
Oh, yeah. So I've done book clubs in the past, and I've always had so much fun doing them, being a part of them. But we had a few patrons that actually suggested and recommended a book club and stated that they would be really interested in doing that. So we do have suggestion boxes. They don't get used very often, but patrons, anybody that comes to the library, if you have something that you are interested in or think that you would benefit from here at the library, we really do take that feedback seriously. So had a couple people say that they would love to do a book club, and then just kind of ran with it from there.
Awesome. Yeah, we do have suggestion boxes. I don't think we have them out right now because the only one that I've seen has a bell on it, and that would ruin the serenity. That would accent the
we
serenity.
have 3. We do have 3
Oh, we
of
do
them.
have 3 of them.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
okay. So you can ring the bell if you want to, but use the silent one. But also email us, Ross. Please, yeah, because people can email you,
Uh-huh.
me, email Reba even. If you have any suggestions, we're looking for your suggestions. We're all kind of new. I mean, you're new to the library-ish,
Mm-hmm.
right? Probably within a year, 10 months.
So Ross and I actually had the same first day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Miranda is just
Like
a few months
2 or
before
3
you.
weeks before us, I
Okay,
think.
yeah, so-
maybe a month.
So we're all new. We're all looking for feedback. We're already incorporating it. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, please give us what you would like to see happening, adding, changing. We'll take it into consideration. What is your favorite aspect of patron-facing librarianship, public serving librarianship?
I think kind of like I mentioned, just helping people. It's really satisfying to see people come in and have no idea what they're doing for like their research paper, right? And then coming up to the front desk and saying, I need some resources on this topic, or I need,
Yes.
academic journals about X, Y, and Z. And being able to kind of walk them through those steps and help them to figure that out. And then have them walk away and say, thank you so much. I was able to find these resources that I need for my paper. So I like doing that and teaching people how to find the resources that they need. So that way later on, they don't always have to come ask us
Uh-huh.
because then they know how to do it themselves.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
And I think that the library can be really intimidating for some people,
Yes.
if they didn't grow up going to a library or they're just not familiar with it.
Uh-huh.
So I think just being that person out front that's not intimidating, because I don't think I am,
Uh-huh.
can really make people feel comfortable in the library, and I like to do that.
Uh-huh. That's an interesting thing that you brought up, being intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have it in further down in the questions here, but I was writing up the questions to ask Ross. I was reading the Tao. I don't know why that's relevant, but then the thought came: what do you have? What suggestions do you have to students that are being intimidated in the library? I don't think anybody's intimidated by the library, but they are. It is kind of an interesting thing. And Ross was kind of surprised by it, but we kind of thought like people do get intimidated by it, especially with things in the past that have happened, and like we need to dispel that and help them be comfortable here.
Yeah. And I think I've never felt intimidated in a library setting, but I grew up as a kid going to the library all the time and then volunteering there in high school. But I think when I really learned that people were intimidated was when I worked at a library back in California, teaching people how to read. So these were adults that were at maybe a first or second grade reading level.
Okay.
And even though English was still their first language, right? They still struggled. And so they had never gone to the library in their lives, and maybe as a 40 or 50-year-old adult, they were scared to go into the library and ask for things. And I was like, wow, I didn't really think of libraries as being intimidating because they're such a quiet, peaceful place, right? Like we talked about. But people that have their own worries, or maybe just feeling uncomfortable because they've never gone into a library before and they don't know what to expect, it can be kind of scary. So I think our job working in the library is to take away anything extra that would make it extra scary or put up any extra barriers for people.
Yes, and that's why we do technical services in our offices and not in front desk, because all the metadata is confusing and scary even for us. But you basically you're a librarian because you're helping people find the research things. And so what are some things that your education prepared you for being in the library?
So my education and being familiar with psychology and understanding people and working in mental health for so many years, I'm used to a very high stress job. And so I feel like my past experiences in work and education have really prepared me for anything. So I feel like coming here, it's been so refreshing because there's certain things that might be seen as stressful or whatever, and I have a perspective of, well, I've dealt with this, so. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I have a good understanding of people and the people skills that I don't know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, Reed? I don't know. I feel like I can, what am I trying to say?
You understand how people act, and so you can.
Yeah, like
that?
my history in like psychology, I feel like has just prepared me to understand and be able to work with diverse people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What are some things that your education did not prepare you for?
I think that there's a lot of like back end stuff in library sciences, like cataloging and things like that I have no idea how to do any of this stuff, you know. So I mean, I've taken class on it now since starting here, but kind of that back end stuff that I was like, I don't know. Which is why I'm so glad Miranda's here to do all of our cataloging for us.
Yes, and then you do the Miranda does the back end of Symphony, and you do the front end of it's front end-ish of Symphony.
Yeah.
And getting like the user registration and stuff.
Yeah, those kinds of things. But yeah, cataloging, I'm still like, it's still confusing.
No, it is. It is fun. What are some things you wish you would have known as a student?
I think just how many like resources really are available, because I think a lot of times students are so overwhelmed with their classes that they're not sure like what exactly there is all around campus for them, and really just to take advantage of all the resources, especially here at CSI. If you need counseling, there's free counseling. If you need help with groceries, there's Gilbert's Pantry. If you need help with like emergency funds, because you can't pay your bill one month because it's really tough, you know, being a student and trying to make ends meet, you know, they have special fund money for that through the foundation that's available to students. So I would just say, you know, it's best for students to try and figure out as many resources as you can tap into on campus, and through CSI to help you.
There's all sorts of things we can do. Maybe not the library, but we can help you find access to external things also. Help you with anything you're going through. What advice do you have for students who come into the library, and kind of for the people who are intimidated by the library? What advice would you have for them?
I think if you have a question, just come ask us. Even if you feel like it's a silly question, it's really not, because most people probably have the same question or a similar question. Don't like suffer in silence. Like, you know, if you are having a hard time finding resources, or you just don't know where to go to find something, just come ask us instead of, you know, trying to find it on your own and struggling, and maybe taking 5 times as long as it could have taken you to do something if you just came up and asked. So if you can get over that initial fear or worry, if you are intimidated in the library, try and do that and just come up to the front desk or to the reference desk and talk to Dave. Just ask a question and we'll help you. I promise we won't make you feel silly for asking something, even if you think it's silly.
Yes. And shout out also to Dave. He's the one who did your classes that you took. Right? Yeah, Dave is really helpful. He's really nice. What books have, and this is kind of getting into the book-centered questions. What books have shaped your career the most?
Ooh, shaped my career.
Or your life?
Well, I'm a huge Jane Austen fan. She's my favorite. So I think that, I mean, I liked reading before I read her, but she's like been my favorite, and so that's like just developed my love of reading. But some books that have been kind of life-changing for me would be The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which we have. Okay. It's all about like mindfulness and practice. The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Okay. And Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Yes.
So if anyone's into some existential philosophy, to me that was kind of a life-changing book. It helped me to make a total career shift, and like that was very meaningful for me. So I would recommend all of those books.
Yes. Mindfulness. Yeah. And it's interesting. Man's Search for Meaning, how many things that book can help you through. Like, you think it's just like on the surface it's just a book about, you know, Holocaust and human suffering, but anything. Like
Yeah, it's
even
like
in good times,
yeah,
you can.
it's
you can-
applicable to like anything in life. I feel like.
Yes,
So.
and I've heard the same thing a little bit about the 4 agreements too, and the other one. The
And
Power of Love.
and a nice thing about the 4 agreements is it's super short. I think I read it in like 2 hours. It's like an easy to read, quick book, but it was really helpful. I liked it.
Okay, nice. And also, speaking of the Austen books, and she does have a big picture of, is it Sense and Sensibility or something?
I think it's like her biography.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Austen Land before?
Austen Land. Oh yeah, I did
Yes.
watch that. I thought that was cute.
Yes, it was really
kind of cute.
We bought it, Maddie and I, my wife and I, and it's like one of the lowest rated movies on Rotten Tomatoes or something. But it's
it's
great.
a little cheese. It's got a
Yes.
little cheese factor.
Yes.
That's okay.
But even like the honest adaptations of Austen books, like you can't interpret it, like I think, accurately and authentically without it being kind of cheesy, especially the men, because the men are just awful in those books. Like, honestly, like, man, Darcy.
Oh man.
And then was it Sense and Sensibility that I was reading, or was it Persuasion? I think it was Persuasion. I was just livid. I forget exactly but anyway, Jane Austen is amazing. Love her. Her and Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte, really good.
Ooh, I know, but of the Brontes, I prefer Jane Eyre.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't read that one yet,
You've got to read
but
it.
I should do that. Okay. Yes, on my reading list, Jane Eyre. We could do that.
That's
for
that's the thing with like working in a library or being just somebody that likes to read. You have a never-ending to-be-read list,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
And as soon as you think you've gotten through your to-be-read list, you don't.
Yes.
right?
Something else comes up.
Yeah.
But how have you changed the most over the last year?
Oh, over the last year. Well, I've been here in the library about a year. So do you mean like professionally or?
Well, just in general. This was just like kind of a life thing, so just or professionally. Yeah.
Let me skip that one.
We can skip
Okay,
that one.
let's
Yeah,
skip that
that's
one.
good. Are there any new projects or initiatives we should look out for me in the future? Like, I guess you have the new book club stuff.
Yeah, so I would say just be looking on the lookout for the next book club pick. Even if you don't come to the book club, if you decide that you want to read the book and just send me an email and say, hey, I really liked this, or hey, I didn't really like it, that's okay.
Yes.
We don't expect you to like the book all the time, but still come because it's still fun. You have actually better discussions and better book clubs if not everybody loves the book or thinks the same about it.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said earlier, just if you have any suggestions or anything, feel free to reach out to us here at the library. We love feedback. And we'll be having some cute new crafts for March. So on our back little table area, come take a break. If you don't even want to study, come by the library. We have puzzles, we have coloring at the back. Just take a little mental break and go hang out there.
Yeah, board games too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Plenty of
all
board
sorts of
games,
stuff.
yes.
Yes. But no, the book club is really, really good. Come to the book club again. But I saw a post in it's like a Facebook live. It's the library think tank, and on Facebook, and it was like was a virtual book club or a silent book club. It was they had a picture of a book, and then people would write on Post-it notes and like put their thoughts on there, so you could walk by and see everybody's thoughts about the book.
Oh, that's
And
neat.
so yeah, I was thinking maybe we could like, you know how they have that little screen. Ross has that little virtual screen.
Yeah.
That has stuff. We could put the book up and could like write the notes on it or something.
absolutely.
So because some people, including me, sometimes don't have time or to go and like participate in a whole big discussion, but maybe like an email or a post-it note or something would be really, really nice.
Or post something and tag the library in it. Like
Yes.
if you post on Instagram or Facebook, tag the CSI
Yes.
library.
Yes.
Give us a shout out.
Yeah. No, we had the photo social media challenge, right? Come to the
Oh
photo
yeah,
bar.
because February is
Valentine's
also
Day.
Library Lovers Month.
Yes.
So you can come into the library and take a cute picture and then tag us in it and get a prize.
Yes. Yes. Please come in. Tag us in posts outside of February too, but come in today and tomorrow, and we will be happy to have you. Has anybody tagged the library yet?
I think so.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Nice. if you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, metaphorically speaking, just anything about like your the main statement that drives your life, what would it say and why? It could be a quote, it could be something you create yourself, whatever you want to do.
I know when I was reading this question that you gave to me, and I just thought of like my favorite quote, or I guess I don't have like a set favorite quote, but one of them is comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, nice.
And it's something that I try and live by, in a sense of, you know, you can be content, or you can always be comparing yourself to others, and then you'll never be content, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just comparing yourself to others, you know, physically, or by what they have, or how much money, or where they're traveling, right? Especially in the era of posting everything on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really been a practice of mine, especially the last couple of years, to just practice being content. And that's something that I live by, and I think the world would be a better place if maybe more people took that mindset to heart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Speaking of classic Victorian and Jacobean literature in Middlemarch, have you read Middlemarch?
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah. How Dorothea always compares herself to other people.
Yeah.
And that's why she's kind of sad throughout her life. But yes.
Nice plug for Middlemarch. That is a very good book.
Yes. People don't really know about it because it's so long.
No.
But
it is
yes.
like this big, but
yeah, it's intense. I loaned it digitally from Idaho Falls Public Library.
Uh-huh.
It took me 6 months to read it.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot. But yes, please read all of our lovely female Victorian authors. They don't get enough love. What is the book or information resource you have given most as a gift, and why? Or if you haven't, what book would you give, do you think, to people?
I actually did give The Power of Now to probably 3 or 4 people that I know. Another good one by Eckhart Tolle is A New Earth. And I think we have both of those here in the library. But Power of Now and A New Earth are books that I've given out to people just because I read them and it was so like meaningful to me.
Okay. What is it? What is A New Earth about?
It's similar in the sense of it's written by the same author as Power of Now, but it's like kind of a follow-up more about mindfulness, but on like a more global societal scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So does it take, like, is that like a quote from like Revelation? Is that meant to be a quote from Revelation? Or is it just like kind of like through society we can improve?
Yeah, more that. It's not biblical at all.
Okay.
It's not like a Christian book or anything. It's more, I guess you could say, New Age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes.
So it's spiritual, not religious.
That's good.
Yeah.
What is
applicable to all beliefs.
Yes, applicable to everyone, as the best books are. What is the? Oh, we're done. Is there anything we haven't covered you want to say before?
No, I don't think so. Just come to the library. We want to see all of your faces here.
Yes. And we're open now on Saturdays. I haven't said that in the previous podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Come on Saturdays, 10
We're
to 2.
open, 10 to 2. So come on Saturdays, take advantage of that resource. But yeah, just let us know what your wants and needs are, and we'll try and accommodate those as best as possible.
What knowledge do you use to build your nest? This can be as existential or metaphorical as you want. Ross went, as I recall, really abstract.
I want to know what Ross's answer was.
Oh, actually, no, sorry. Ross went abstract for my answer. His answer for this one was like new skills. Like he learns new skills frequently. Like he's doing his own taxes. He learned how to change his own car.
Okay.
Learning how to do new things with the knowledge that he used to build.
Nice. Okay, so how do I build my knowledge? Well, okay. And well, you know this, but like Dave, Ross, and I, we always do like the daily crosswords.
Yes, yes, you do.
It's like a nerdy library thing for you, right? But I love like if there's not one like that, I don't know the clue or I can't figure it out. Like I love looking it up and then like learning, you know, that new word or that new tidbit for the day. So I think that like helps, stretch my mind each day. But yeah, just taking care of myself and doing like hobbies, practicing different aspects of wellness. Like, I think that's kind of how you continue to build your knowledge.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Always, learning new things about yourself.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's cool. Nice.